Wizards, they're coming off a two-game losing streak, lost by double digits to the Cavs and the Kings. They've kind of been alternating home and road games since March 10th, so this is a tough travel spot here where they can get hit with the travel fatigue. This is the first leg of back-to-back games too. They got the Nuggets on deck tomorrow at home. On the Magic side, they did come off a loss to the Lakers, but they've covered in three straight games, and it's primarily due to their defense. They've kept their last three opponents under their team total. This also is a sort of a tough travel spot for them here. The third game in 4 nights, also coming home from LA. But I'll talk about their little travel spot here, going from West Coast to back home to the East a little bit in the trends section. From an injury perspective, Kuzma and Suggs are out both for their respective teams. Uh, the Wizards' defensive rating without Kuzma in the lineup goes from 115.1 to 122.5. I looked at how they do on the road in games without Kuzma. 0-2 straight up, 0-2 against the spread. They gave up 135 and 130 in those games. Wizards as well on the road playing the first leg of back-to-back games, which is the situation they're in today. 2-8 straight up, 2-8 against the spread. Average margin in those games is about -9. They're only scoring 109.4 per game in those 10 games. And I mentioned on the Magic side, the tough travel spot. They're coming from LA back home. So I checked to see how they do going from a Western Conference team on the road back home, and they're actually 3-0 straight up and against the spread. 3-0 to the over as well. They're doing well offensively. They beat the Warriors outright. They beat the Pelicans outright. They dominated the Spurs by 20. For me, the Magic they've been a lot better at home offensively. More so than they have been on the road. They average close to 6 points more per game at home than they do on the road. I like the Magic's current form defensively versus the Wizards without Kuzma here. I think they get the win tonight.
So Orlando's a team that I've loved all year. I made a whole lot of money backing the Magic, and I love them in general off a loss. But when you talk about Orlando actually having to win the game, laying points with Orlando as a favorite, and they're favored here, they've covered three spreads all year. I've got them at 3-9 ATS as chalk. And certainly from a Wizards standpoint, not the Whiskers, the Wizards, from a Wizards standpoint, they're a team that, in my mind, they played as well, if not better, on the highway than they have at home. I have no problem taking Washington on the road. Given Orlando struggles as a favorite, given the urgency for Washington, and given the Wizards' relative strength in the highway compared to their home record, can you still make a comfortable case for the Orlando Magic? They were on my short list tonight, and I did not use Orlando for the
Oh
clients.
yeah, no, I think like I said, I think I like yeah, I like the Magic's defense right now. I mean, like I said earlier, they've kept their last three opponents under their team total, and they played some pretty decent teams here. The biggest thing for me to go against the Wizards is really Kuzma. He's really affected that team on the defensive side of the ball. I mentioned the defensive rating going from 115.1 to 122.5 without him, and that's about I think it was like an 8 game sample size. And in those road games, they gave up 135, 130. Also, that tough travel spot going back and forth, home to road. First leg of back-to-back games, playing the Nuggets up next as well. Another team that they could probably look ahead to. I mean, I would think that this is a possible situation where they kind of look ahead in this spot, thinking that the Magic are a lowly team here. But the Magic could steal one. I think they're a tough team.